Please listen carefully.
Welcome to Game Bangerz, the podcast formerly known as Goof Troop. I'm your host, Kyle Conway, and as always, we have our two special guests. We have Alex Davis and Cameron Hicks.
Hello.
So we've been on a bit of a hiatus. It's been probably a week and a half, 2 weeks since we last recorded.
Since we've recorded, yes. It's been
2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to keep this one a little short for technical reasons we won't go into, but we are on a time limit here. So I don't know.
I'm losing blood. You can't see it, but out of picture, I'm losing a lot of blood. That's why we chose the red tablecloth.
Yeah. We did call the ambulance already. It just takes them a while. Infrastructure here is rough in Florida.
So
I was thinking
all
maybe
the old people are taking up all the healthcare. So,
yeah, they're all dying constantly. So we're trying to get us in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I'll field this one your way because we're doing a short one. I'm kind of cool with keeping it really lax instead of maybe a little less formula. Like maybe we'll do some hat stuff.
Yeah,
we can talk about our week if that gets us nowhere.
I love it when you say hat stuff because it sounds like we have this weird fetish.
Yeah,
like,
we want to do hat stuff.
We're only doing hat stuff tonight.
Like we said, we our biggest video was because of BDSM. I haven't checked the keywords lately, but I have a feeling that
yeah, you can tag this one with fetishes and hat stuff.
It seems like a surefire winner. Even.
Yeah. Is it too late to change our name to Cum?
Yeah, Cum and BDSM.
Yeah, you might have had. Yeah, BDSM stands for something different for us, but
yeah, I'll have to look it up because for a while there, it was our second keyword for the channel was BDSM, and then towards the bottom, I think was sex things, which I'm not sure how that one popped up, but it was on there. Maybe Bangerz got us there.
Still proud of it.
I'm very proud of it too. That was one of the first milestones that we reached. I was very happy with, but. Should we start the way we normally do? Just kind of catch up since it's been 2 weeks. See if anything interesting's been going on with each other.
Yeah, we can. I'm gonna keep mine super short. Like,
cool. Me
you're
too.
gonna. I'll go right now.
Yeah, go for it.
I turned 27. I was 26. Now I'm 27.
I'm sad about it.
Would not recommend turning 27.
I'm so fucking not looking forward to it.
Yeah. How long do you got until you're?
Fucking 6 months about.
Yeah, it's scary times.
When y'all have birthdays, what does it bring up for y'all? Like, how does it make you feel?
Well, one thing I'm upset about is I never got to be 24, I think. Or no, it was 23. I was never 23 ever.
Skipped it.
Yeah, when I turned 23, I instantly thought I turned 24 for the entire year. And then when I turned 24, I realized...
What a bummer. 23 was a good year.
Yeah, apparently.
I think I peaked at 22.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
it's all been downhill from here.
Yeah, so 5 years downhill.
Was it a high peak, or are we slowly just descending?
I think you're talking like Florida Hill.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
But I've been taking my time, meandering down the old path of life.
I don't look at it as a peaking thing, though. Maybe I should, but I just look at it as like
fuck that. Get out of here. I don't think about peaking.
I just look at it more as like I'm marching towards death's door, and also I'm of the age where I'm classified as adult male. If I robbed a liquor store today, it'd be white adult male. Well, not even that. Like, it would be like there would be no question. Like, hey, he's an adult male.
Yeah, your picture on the TV screen. People are like, yeah, that figure.
That's a dude.
Yeah,
but I believe I could perhaps be seen as a teenager still.
Because
I had someone tell me the fucking day. He walked into my office. I'm sitting there like getting ready to put out routes for all the people I'm supervising. He's like, "How old are you? Do you belong in here?
Bring your son to work day?"
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, he's like, "How old are you?" I'm 25. What? And why am I telling you? Like,
I'm an adult. I don't have to tell you shit.
Yeah, I've walked into.
And then he told me I was balding. I was like, "Fucking thanks, buddy."
Jesus, you can't win with that guy.
Thanks, UPS man. He rolled in, said some mean shit, and left. He's like, "Take it." Taking your envelopes. Bye.
Delivering a sad message.
Yeah, for me, I've walked into like a liquor store multiple times and haven't gotten carded. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I get
for like a few years now.
I still get carded every time.
I'll break it down. I mean, I get carded usually. Like, it's not like I'm not like I'm not past the point where people are like, I wonder how old you are. If I shave, I get back down to like 23ish. Aside from my hairline, and that's something that I'm very.
Well, you can shave it, put that on your head.
Yeah, I could just tape this up here. I know that I'm losing that battle for sure. Like my dad, I think was like balding pretty well, like in early 30s. So. I'm just unless there's a revelation in that technology, which I don't even know.
Hair care.
If you type it into Google, I'm sure like every day there's a brand new breakthrough, and everyone's like, "Finally, we're saved."
Thousands of bald men around the country are like, "I can be pretty again."
Well, there's that. Was it Propecia? What's the one that Trump takes that supposedly makes you go insane or whatever?
I couldn't tell you.
There's a one of the hair loss drugs that it doesn't make you go insane, but it has been like categorically like proven that like. A lot of people have like hung themselves or committed suicide due to this drug, like fucking around with their emotions.
But I wonder what percentage of that might just be like you're unhappy. Like if you start taking drugs because you're balding, like does that maybe point to
what you're saying?
Yeah, like maybe you're already just a very unhappy person.
I think like
when I am going bald, and everyone I know denies that shit. I'm gonna shave my fucking head. What does that
mean? Like everyone denies that you were going balding?
Skylar, Whitney, everybody who like is involved intimately with my hair,
except for the one who's with their hair 24/7, 365.
I believe it is going, and not at a slow rate.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. So I'm very cognizant of that, though.
I'm gonna shave that.
I'm definitely gonna shave eventually.
When did it start?
Like I'm not there. Sometime within the last maybe 2 years. Like,
really?
I would say like. I'd say like I've always had like a higher line here, like around the temple, like so that was probably indicative of someday like it's coming for you, buddy. Yeah. Like it's always been like up there a little bit, but like it's definitely crept more and more back up there. So that's something that I've been like just eyeballing, like I brush my hair over, like not like a comb over, but it's just like that's my natural like move now, and. Aside from that, I would say I'm starting to feel the pressures of like certain things that I should have done in my life or be well on my way to doing. Like you're married, I'm not married. I would like to be married sometime in the not too far off future. Like I don't want to rush anything, obviously, but I would like to have kids. I don't know if that's something on your table. Yeah, and I mean that's a fair point. But I would also
shit's dope. You got plenty of time.
I say that a lot. Though,
I don't really want to be like I don't really want to be like an old dad. Yeah, like that. I think that was
or stepdad.
Yeah,
there's a danger of that for sure.
Oh, especially around here.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. Or out in these parts where we're filming this, where I'm losing all this blood. I think all of the single women.
Father to the child.
Yeah,
currently dying.
I should have maybe put a Band-Aid on.
But yeah, people get started early here.
Yeah, I mean when I did my brief stint substituting for high schools.
Love story?
No, well, the first class I substituted for, there was a pregnant girl, and it was like 10th grade English. And I was like, wow, like, there you go, someone done fucked up in a very literal way. And
I also can't point in like you ruined everything because probably not. No, you're probably still on the same track. Well, you just have a kid now.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I would say that there's probably a pretty drastic change in lifestyle.
For sure. But I mean more like, but you could have become an astronaut. Like probably not. Probably not for that one.
Yeah, I mean
the career path is staying the same.
I think it changes. I think you still have different opportunities because having a kid just completely eliminates.
Well, obviously it's per person.
Around here with childcare, it pays you to not have a job if you have a kid. Like you might as well just not work.
That's definitely a thing.
Remove that person from the workforce because now they got a kid.
Hell, I'm about to get on the internet, find me a kid.
I'm sorry, you're not a single mom. It doesn't work quite the same.
My dude.
I mean, what about with a sex change? I'm not above it at this point.
You're in Florida, so it may not fly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, for Scott, wasn't that was that in Texas or whatever? They made him wrestle the guy who was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the high school wrestling?
Yeah.
Was it high school wrestling or was it just wrestling?
I thought it was high school.
Yeah, I do definitely like.
He was being forced to wrestle against the other female competitors. Yeah, and he has like still I guess the testosterone, whatever.
Oh yeah, you can notice that. I saw his shoulders. I'm like, yeah, that's those dude shoulders. Yeah. Like that's not fair at all. Like,
yeah,
good job. Yeah, that was the confusing one because you saw a lot of people come out on the right doing the like, see, they shouldn't be doing this, but then the guy was like, yeah, I know, I should wrestle with the guys. That's a whole weird thing though. I'm not sure. One, I don't watch wrestling anyway, so who the fuck cares what Kyle from Florida thinks?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, aside from the Olympics, it's pretty down like irrelevant sport. Like, is it even in the Olympics? I don't even know.
No, it's not.
Did they take it out?
Yeah.
They don't have wrestling at all?
No, which was a really big deal because it was like one of the original sports and they pulled it.
Why did they pull it?
Probably because they weren't wrestling naked anymore.
Was it like interest was down or something?
Well, there's a lot of uninteresting. It was something about the number of sports that feature men and women, I think.
Like separately?
Like I don't know. I don't know.
Because aren't they trying to get
talking
esports in the Olympics now? Isn't that a thing
Maybe.
that's being introduced? That seems weird to take out.
There was a reason.
When like isn't like one of the beginning sports?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Take it back to Greece.
Yeah, so
we're gonna pivot. 2,000 years later, we're pivoting. Since Christ or before Christ.
Let's see. I said I was going to keep this quick for my week. I think
I did ask you a pretty big time question though. I hate to put you on the spot like that, but like, how does your age affect your mental?
I see. I still
state.
A lot of times though, I still feel young. Like, 27 is by no means old, I would say, but like I feel like pretty like I still don't know how to do a lot of things that maybe I should know how to do. Maybe I just was like didn't prepare myself well, or the education.
Do you have any
off the top of the dome?
Yeah.
I feel like I should have a better working like knowledge of just like if I wanted to start up my own company, like I don't have that working knowledge like just right off the dome. Like I mean, maybe no one does. Maybe you always have to do a lot of research for that. But like in general, I probably could have been more prepared for financial like management and stuff like that of my own personal finances. I do really well with that anyway, but it's just because I'm a responsible person.
Also, like, you're past the point where you're like a wonderkind. Like, you see all this, like, look at this amazing 22-year. Like, there's this, I think, like a 20-year-old, I forget, from like one of those Scandinavian countries. He just launched like the first phase of his company where he's collecting plastic in the ocean. And he's going to turn that into a. He's like 20 years old. He's designed this whole fucking machine that's going to go out there and do it. It's like, yeah. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So I feel like there's not as much pressure for me to like bust out of college and become a millionaire. Like I've definitely passed that point where I didn't do that.
Was there a point in college where you were ready to bust out and be a millionaire?
No, I never had a grandiose idea of like I'm gonna be a super successful businessman.
Future lifestyle.
I mean, I still think I have a pretty fair shot of doing something like fairly well, but I wouldn't say that. I was expecting, like, pretty much in being an advertising major, I knew, like, oh, I'm going to go get a job and then probably get fired, like, pretty quickly because that turnover rate in the advertising world is real high. So, like, it was, like, I didn't have a expectation of going and, like, working some great job and getting paid, tons of money, as opposed to a lot of other people that, or so we are led to believe that our generation was expected to earn millions out the gate. I don't know.
I know we talk different. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, just the tone and the way you used to talk about things when you're coming out of high school, starting college, but there's a pretentiousness in the way you talk about maybe, like, where your life is going. It's maybe something that I notice now because I'm in a college setting, so I hear these kids talk all the time. I just look at them like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's a groundedness that's missing.
I kind of always recognize that, though. I believe. I think I was always kind of on the level of like looking at these people like they're talking out of their fucking ass, and most of them have a silver spoon, especially the school I went to.
I graduated in 2009, so 2019 will be 10-year.
Yeah, that'll fuck with you.
I mean, so. I think by my 10-year reunion, I wanted to have purchased my dream car, or not, and not like have a fully. So my dream car would be a 1966 Mustang Coupe. I didn't expect to have a fully restored one, but I expected to own it. So and I could still do that. I could probably go buy one for like, a real bad one for like $4,000, $5,000.
Hell yeah, do that. Put like a go-kart engine in it. Roll up to the reunion.
I still have
my dream.
That. Yeah, well,
just rent one.
Yeah, just
fucking rent
maybe
one.
build a little ramp and just let it roll into the parking lot.
Become an Uber driver and then just claim it as a work expense.
There you go.
So there's little things but like my goal coming back to my 10-year reunion wasn't to be like some super successful person. It was to like be a person that had like good
to, like not come.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence on whether I would go or not.
I would not go. No fucking way.
Yeah, I don't.
Especially
I
with
guess,
people. There's a very short list.
I feel like I've kept up with the people I'm good with.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyone that I would have wanted to see at 10 years in high school.
I think that's fair too.
Though we could role play if you want. What the fuck you been up to, man?
I wouldn't mind that. Or we show back up as caricatures of other people that we went to high school with.
Or we just act like shit went real bad. Like we come in like I have track marks or something, like heroin addict. Like I think we could do that.
That'd be pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, and as far as my life
Tell
goes,
people we have grifts planned if they want to join in.
we're going on a go.
Back in high school, there was a time where I went around with a little baggie and asked for people's change. Like I could do that again and see if it catches some traction.
I'll walk up to like a table, put a blueprint of a 7-Eleven. Like, all right, listen, I need a few of you with me on this.
I mean, we do have the great opportunity of boasting about running a podcast.
Oh, for sure.
So,
that's definitely going to play well.
Yeah. So probably everybody and their mom has a podcast now.
Oh, for sure.
Or a blog about anything.
A blog about your podcast.
It's kind of amazing.
But yeah, it's really, the internet just opened up this great megaphone of a world that you can just shout your bullshit opinions into, and someone will listen to them.
That's the funny thing is I always, look at those vlogs and whatever, and I internally scream at them like, no one cares about your fucking opinion. Like, and then now I'm sitting here in front of a microphone, like not even pretending to think that anyone cares.
Yeah,
but still, I like to
pretend ironically.
Right we definitely. I mean, like I said, we're making headway in the BDSM community. I think if we just stoke those fires.
Yeah. I mean, and there's so many different ways to frame things, and I'm definitely getting off topic a little bit here, but maybe I'm not a millionaire, but I did live in California for the last 2.5 years, and I successfully lived out there, like paid rent, like on my own place, like, and it was very expensive, and I managed practically by myself, and no one that I worked for would tell you differently. I managed $1 million pet resort, so I mean there's some things that I feel pretty good about. Mm-hmm. So like as a 27-year-old, I feel like I'm still on the path, but there is just that number. Like I don't know, something about the middle 30s number or middle 20s numbers have been a little scary for me. 25 I felt like was the last comfortable one. 26 seems weird. 27 is foreign to me. Maybe 28 will be better, but again,
I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't feel good.
If you're what you just described was like a company and like with like a public company in the stock market.
Yeah.
Like this could be the year. This could
get
some guys on Mad Money talking about Alex's life. Like
I feel like I've been this way since like 23 or 24. I guess my first year of being 24. Like it's just been a constant like what the fuck. Like 22 was the last year. I was like I'm a kid. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get on my level. I'm still a child.
Yeah, goddamn you. He's exactly a year younger than me. Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, that's
fucking young buck over here.
Yeah,
Jesus.
But you're married, so that adds like 5 years, right off the gate.
Actually, doesn't he live a little bit longer? Right?
Oh,
I think there's that.
Because I'm married.
But he's unhappy for those years.
Is that the wife or the husband that lives longer?
Well, the wife definitely lives longer, always. Yeah. But
I do believe it at some point it adds some longevity.
Yeah, tide rises his ship a little bit.
It really depends because what percentage of homicides are committed by spouses?
Ooh.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if they've factored this in. I want to say that the study that we would have, I want to hope that the study that Kyle and I heard about factored all of those.
I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about like the research that would have to be done for that statistic, I feel like they just brushed over that one.
Also, I probably read it like on like AOL.com, so who the fuck knows at this point?
The BuzzFeed article. Like,
so there's probably a bunch of scientists who are like, no, that's not what the fuck we were fine, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we found aliens.
The only other thing that I can think of, I went to the theme parks a couple of times. That was fun. And I watched the Game Night movie, and I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Kept meaning to see it, just for some reason. I was literally driving to the theater and just went, nope.
Yeah. No, I thought there was some very funny moments in there.
Yeah.
Some good quality jokes. I wouldn't say like the overall movie was like a masterpiece, but like there was some I think my favorite joke I don't even want to say because of Kyle. Like, I think you would probably find this funny. I don't want to spoil the joke.
Okay.
But there was a couple of high quality jokes in there that I will definitely steal at some point when I'm talking to people. Like,
okay, fair.
Yeah.
I'll give it a watch. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Oh no, tomorrow's Friday. I may give it a watch tomorrow. We shall see.
Okay, and that's it for me.
You want to go over your?
I was gonna go over my life.
Yeah, your life.
Yeah. When I have a birthday.
Yeah.
Seriously though, whenever I have a birthday, like, I don't know, it doesn't. Then none of that comes into my mind. Maybe it is my child at heart or whatever, or child in most of my being.
I see the birthday usually goes fine.
Yeah, but
it's
even
just like, hey, we're all celebrating.
Like I haven't had that yet. Even I got married. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm having a good time. It
must be nice to be content.
Yeah, it's good
with life.
It's not bad. It's not. It's not bad. Just doing your thing. But I feel a different type of like pressure.
What's that?
Being married. It's like, it's a kid pressure. It's a child like.
that ticking time
it's
bomb.
Another clock that has started ticking. Like,
yeah,
I'm
like
sure
with every prospective year, you're like, do you do the math? Like +8, +9 months, +18. If I had a kid right now, I'd be 45 whenever they eventually like got out of my house.
I guess what are you looking for after kid, right? Because isn't that ostensibly why you're doing the math?
No, I think it's for the kid, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it would be like to not be
like
to be the old dad.
Yeah, do you want to like have
What's
a lot of
old
time
dad?
to potentially be with your grandchildren? I would say is like a fair question.
Another thing
that I look at.
I'm comfortable with nah.
I mean, because
on that
your
question.
son could be a stud. You could have a grandchild by the time you're 14 or whatever. Like, so, I mean, like,
Stud, you fucking idiot.
Alex is back 7 for my son.
Yeah, he's getting in there real quick.
God damn you.
Flash forward.
14, like he's been like, oh, that's so early.
I mean, it could be one of those. I mean, you read about them all the time. This teacher sex scandals. I mean,
For sure. Yeah, the most recent one with actually she's from Florida. The most recent.
aren't they all from Florida?
Probably.
Yeah,
we definitely publicize that
a
stuff.
trend.
there's some sort of like secret hire all the terrible people, which is just makes me feel so good about arming teachers.
Oh yeah. What didn't something happen where like a teacher just fired a round in his class? Like
Popped off a warning shot.
Well, he like locked the class.
Like a shot across the bow.
Like he was one.
Don't step any closer.
Like he was a teacher. He was designated to carry a firearm. There was no one in his class. He just locked the door and like fired a round into the roof or something. It happened like a week or so ago.
Georgia or something.
Yeah, some other state. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably accidentally walked across the Florida Georgia line when he did it. It was like,
I remember reading because probably on Reddit or something like that, and you see all the comments going like, "This is a false flag meant to." Oh, great, fantastic. Trying to stop it.
Yeah, I still have torn feelings about it because like. I mean, this is a whole nother debate that we could get into, but like, I do have a very big issue with them offering a potential incentive for the teachers to carry. Like, teachers are universally underpaid, so now you're talking like, hey,
Some of them.
Yeah,
I know some of the teachers now. It's like you should be paid way less.
But I mean,
Yeah.
if you're talking about
you
like
should
the
be
job,
for real fired.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about,
I know
like,
the point you're making is valid.
You perform to the your reward, sometimes. So like, if you're being underpaid, maybe you don't try as hard. Maybe if you're paid a fair wage, you might get paid a little better, or you might do a better job.
Or maybe all the dumb people who are now teachers, and it's like, oh no, this is their best.
Some of them are truly just terrifying.
Yeah. But
I love that when you grow up, you get to see like, oh no, my teachers were fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Like, because you can relate. Like,
yeah,
okay.
there was some teachers I added on Facebook after the fact because I thought they were great people. It turns out they're racist.
Really interesting.
Yeah, and like I just never saw it coming. Like I thought you were like
Blindsided.
and I wouldn't even like identify at that time as a liberal person. I would have said more conservative, and I thought they were more probably on that side. It turns out they are like they're racist, but I've changed, and I'm like, man, like I'm glad that didn't come out in your teaching. So I guess good for you.
Or
to keep
did it?
Maybe.
Yeah,
it did.
maybe.
But it's hard to say. But I guess the point that I was thinking was just like, if my favorite teacher was actually a good teacher, and if they were underpaid, but now you're offering them $500 to carry a gun, like, but they definitely don't deserve to be carrying a gun. They're like, sure, fuck it, I'll put one in my pocket and and take the extra $500,
How do
please.
they check that you're carrying your gun? Like they have to come around and do like a little like check.
Gun check. Like who's got their number 2s and who's got their Glocks.
Luckily, I think we're in the one county in the entirety of the United States that has a fairly active, gun teacher program. Because didn't Grady Judd start that? Sheriff Grady Judge of Polk County. Didn't he start that like 2 or 3 years ago?
I don't
like
know.
A teacher gun training course. I want to say we have.
That was when I was in California. I was protected from all this bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we have an active program for
living
that.
in your own bubble.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't happen in Polk County. I don't think we've had anything like that. I know we've had bomb scares, but that's it.
I mean, yeah,
when there were scares so much as just like jackasses wanting to get out of school for 30 minutes.
We were the bomb threat like capital of the U.S. At one point in Polk County. Yeah. So that's pretty.
It got pretty popular there for a couple of years, even.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice. It was a good time.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird to think about like how many times you've technically been threatened with a bomb, like,
and how many fond memories.
Yeah, like just hanging out with everybody. I mean, and really, like, what a shitty system. Like, hey, everybody go to the bleachers.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually proposed one time. Like, well, what if they put the bomb out there?
I mean, supposedly they checked
check
all that
before,
stuff.
yeah.
But I mean, were you barred from bringing a backpack out there? I don't remember that. Like,
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so
it's fairly lax.
Yeah, like just
we were
take
just
the backpack
chilling.
out there.
Yeah, everyone took it about as seriously as the students did, so that's good.
Yeah, I remember Tony would take his shirt off and race down up and down the football field.
Yeah, he took advantage of it for the publicity.
I mean, really, smart man.
Yeah,
the audience is captive.
Taking him.
This is true. This is true.
He rocketed him into stardom. Well, yeah, okay, so that's my life.
I don't think you said a single thing.
Yeah,
I said it about my kids.
Oh yeah, the kid thing for
kids.
sure.
Yeah,
I played a lot more Monster Hunter. I say a lot more. My free time has been drastically reduced, just with everything going on. Working for a new company now, and everything that comes with that. Working overtime. I've worked Saturdays, just getting everything transferred over.
I got you working Saturdays.
Not really. They don't have me working them. It's more like
you're on call.
Well, I'm always on call.
Oh,
right?
True.
Right, but it's more of I need to get this done, and I don't want. There's a bunch of people coming in, and just with everything that goes on, you'd like to make a good first impression with a lot of those people, and sitting there not like they've flown down from whatever state they came from. Whatever other plant to train you, and you're sitting over there like, hey, sorry, I've got to do this really mundane task before I can actually sit down and learn anything new from you.
Yeah.
Which the whole system, I'm pretty sure, is that registering, is pretty whack. Just the way that they've chosen to handle it. They've kind of got me trying to learn an entire new system while at the same time maintaining my old system. While the transition goes through, it's really
transitions are awful.
Yeah, and they said that happens with everybody. I wish there was there had been a little more foresight, before the actual acquisition. I wish a lot of this had been taken care of. But other than that,
like on their end, or just
it's all on their end. They weren't ready for it. It felt,
I think that's how it usually goes. Yeah. Like that's why I'm curious, like how, you almost may be putting the bar too high in terms of what they're expecting, which will probably work out in your favor because I always operated in that way.
And they've said that too. They said this is the smoothest transition we've ever had, and I'm sitting over here like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? I'm stressing out constantly because y'all shitheads don't have your side of the Beard, what are you eating? Your side, you guys didn't put your side of the bargain, together. You're throwing a lot at me and not bringing the supporting documentation.
That's what makes jobs in big corporations so fucking stressful, because there's all these people and it feels like those corporations operate in a way where the bystander effect is just constantly in play. So it's just like, I guess I'm the guy who's going to make sure this all fucking works because no one else is doing anything.
And there's so many emails, it's suffocating.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
And the way they choose to handle like customer service, they don't come to me and ask me like, when are you going to be in this area again? They put a timestamp on it and say this has to be serviced within 24 hours or 48 hours. And you're just looking at him like, how is that going to happen? Also, by the way, this customer is bullshit. We go there once every 6 months. And instead they've got me hit it within 48 hours, which I don't think is a great way to handle it. Like you said earlier, Alex, I think it's a lot more inefficient so far from what I've seen. I think the customer service, that's probably what they strive for, which is that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I believe the operation is suffering, and maybe the end goal is, you perfect the system so much that call-ins are a thing of the past. You service everybody exactly on time, and that
sounds like a nice world.
That's a pretty lofty goal, considering the industry that we work in. But
I think something that are they having you learn a lot of systems and stuff in your own time, in your downtime, like outside of work? Or are you always on the clock when you're learning new stuff?
Well, on the clock is also relative because
you're
fucking salaried. Which has been pretty cool. Working on
those extra hours are.
Yeah, they did ask me to come in last week. On Saturday they actually said, "Hey, would you mind coming down Saturday?" And I was like, "No, you don't worry about it." But in my heart of hearts, I was like, "Yeah, I fucking mind." Like, I've been working till 7 every night this week, you fuckers. Like, and y'all. That's another annoying thing is they all leave. And that's when I was getting the bulk of my work done. Is like after everyone got out of my fucking hair, I would stay till 7 to get it done. And they don't see that. They don't know I'm there till 7. And then they come in and say, "Hey, would you mind coming and working a few extra hours on Saturday?"
Yeah. It would almost be a beneficial thing to have everybody just track their hours, so you know when people are in and out of the building.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect your pay at all, but at least like, hey, at least Cameron's here and he's been here until 7. Like, in that way, they know if they're running you ragged. Like, if you put in 60 hours last week and 70 hours the next week, then maybe they know, like, hey, we shouldn't ask him to come in on Saturday. And like that was something that my old company did when we transitioned new systems. They said, "Hey, you guys have to learn the system, and there's no way that we can like have you do it whilst you're on the job. You need to learn it in your own time." And I was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool. These college kids are gonna spend their time studying a new system and not be paid to do it." So essentially, I just got thrown under the bus. Like, nobody would learn the new system because they weren't being paid to learn the new system, and so everything was just super inefficient.
I know someone who did it for raise negotiation. He tracked his hours for like the last 3 months. Like, hey, here's what I've been working at each week. I haven't complained about it. That was one of his things he brought forward.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty smart.
Yeah, I think I may go that route, and it's not, that I feel overworked. But I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of it, that the appreciation of it isn't going by the wayside.
I think you should be wary of it as far as if you start working 60-hour weeks on a regular and you're being paid for a 40-hour salary. You start to divide those extra hours 20 times 52. What is that? Probably pretty good.
It's impossible. We can't do it at this point.
Yeah,
we're just unlimited.
Yeah.
What did you say? 20 times 52?
Yeah, so
1,040. Right?
Yeah, so 1,000. So now you're, add those extra hours in, divide, and instead of 2080, which I think is your average 40-hour work week, times 52 weeks a year. Now you're doing 1,000 more hours, and you're getting paid for none of them. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how it settles down.
Yeah, also super in the weeds here, but also you should probably pull up your because it's a pretty big corporation that's acquired. Try to get a hold of their I forget what the name of the document is, but a lot of corporations have raise caps on a per year basis. So figure out what that is and then just ask for that.
Argue about it, yeah.
That's what I used to do. I used to do it every 3 months. I would contact my boss and like push heavily for raises.
Yeah,
I got it most of the time too, which is. I think most people, as long as you're doing a good job, so you can justify annoying the shit out of your boss, like, why not? Like, I knew a guy who worked the same position as me, started around the same time, maybe 2 months after, and in the entire 2 years I worked at that company, he never got a raise, whereas I doubled what I made from where I started. And he was asking, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. Why are they giving you raises? Like, you gotta... Yeah, irritating, man. They're not going to give it to you.
No one will ever, like, especially in a small business, I don't think we ever just gave out a raise. People had to come ask for it.
Well, even big businesses, when you start looking at like spreadsheets and like, oh, we have to make GP percentage of 2%, and like they're not going to yield 0.05 of that to an employee raise unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
So
But fuck.
with my few hours of free time, I've played a lot of Monster Hunter.
There we go.
And I have really enjoyed that game. I think it's the most addicted I've felt to one of those. I say most addicted. I haven't maybe put in 30, 35 hours, maybe 40 hours over the last 3 weeks. I can't track it accurately because it's also one of those games that if you leave it on, it will continue to track your hours. So it says I'm up to like 72 or something, which that definitely didn't happen. But the systems in that are really, really addictive. I like the loop of it.
I was about to say, you don't feel like burnt out on that? Like,
oh my god, no! Get out of here.
Okay, yeah, because I've only put in about 10 hours, and I feel like burnt out. Like chasing the monster over and over again. Like I'm beat the crap out of you, you run away. Beat the crap out of you again, you run away, and then I finally kill you. I get 60 seconds to loot your body, and then like back to the old camp. Like to me, it just didn't feel very satisfying. Like I would like the monster that I'm fighting to like stay and fight, like at least some of the time. And maybe they start to eventually.
Well,
but it seems like all of them were
the difficulty of the fights definitely ramps up, and with that, you know, the first half of the game, or the first part of the game, was really just kind of like it felt like a tutorial for the high rank side of the game. So there's a low rank which you start in, and there's a high rank, and so all the monsters get amped up. You know, new movesets, new abilities, and with that comes more difficulty, and that's kind of where the fun lies for me. You know, playing that those new monsters for the first time, and then it has a great way of incentivizing you to want to go get new loot. Which I think a lot of games don't do as well. Like all of the upgrades, all the new upgrades seem really cool and fun, and the cosmetic aspect of it is also pretty neat. The way they changed it around from high rank to low rank, so you've got all the same armor as in low rank at high rank, but they offer an alpha and a beta version, which is like it's been retooled, reskinned. It comes with new skills, like equipment skills, and so when you start looking at all that, you kind of start developing a play style, including with what weapon you're playing with, and it really lends itself to kind of carving out your own little niche, how you want to play the game. And I think that once you get friends together, that game really fucking shines. I have had such a good time playing with Jimmy. He's the only one who's actually kept it up. You and Jake just disappeared.
I mean, to be fair, I think unfortunately for the release time and the time that we acquired the game, I just had the family come into town, and you guys kind of not griping with it at all. You guys kind of forged ahead, and I was just like, okay, go fight those monsters.
Well, the good thing about that is if you actually wanted to come back to it, which you may not, you may want to, whatever. We can actually play with you now, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't have to worry about the cutscenes. The most important part about it. So we've already made it through there. So we've already seen those cutscenes. So there won't be a mission that we can't join with you.
Yeah.
And it's still fun to go back because it's a game that the way they've balanced it, it's based on all of the equipment. So your base stats as a character never change. You never level up. Your equipment gets better. So if we wanted to come back and play with you, and not just stomp the shit out of whatever we were fighting. Just go back and equip your old equipment. And it'll be
that's not bad.
It'll level the playing field. It'll drop the skill.
That makes a lot
back down into it.
That makes me feel a little bit I guess more positive about what I was thinking. But I mean, I will say from when we played it together, I think we only actually got to do the one mission together. But that one moment where the T-Rex monster came in. Yeah,
we're chasing the Jagras and we run around the corner.
I think that might have been random. I don't know if you can confirm that or not, but I think it might have just been luck of the draw. If it was a beautiful moment where we just we hightailed it out of there. Like
as in multiplayer, that's one of my favorite moments I think that I've ever had. We ran through it was like a waterfall or something like that, and we came out on the other side chasing the Jagras, and we both kind of come around in the corner at the same time, and the T-Rex is screaming in our face, and both of us just said simultaneously screamed, "Oh fuck me!" and like turned and ran the other direction.
And so I mean, the game for sure must have more moments exactly like that, where you just you see this big bad monster for the first time. So I think it's a good game. It's just I'm not sure if it was for me. As we already have kind of labored on my gripe with some games, but I think that is a game that I can more easily watch. Like people get into. Like if you were out there playing right now, I'd probably enjoy watching you hunt stuff rather than me, because I just didn't like chasing them.
Yeah, I'd be interested if there was a more because as I get higher, the hunting aspect of it has become less.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like, all right, well, I've learned enough about these monsters that I know where they nest, and that this might also, if it was the other way and everything was a complete hassle to find the monster, I may be really annoyed about that. Yeah, like I have done this 30 times. Like, just show me where the thing's at.
Yeah. Do you capture monsters still, or do you always kill?
Oh yeah, that's another fun way to play the game, but that's also become a lot easier as well. So
okay. Do you put like big explosive barrels down and all that stuff?
I've seen people do that. I've done it once or twice. I really haven't felt the skill, like the cap yet, or whatever you want to call it. Like I've never lost to a monster.
Yeah, I lost to the T-Rex with the fire.
Yeah,
which was disappointing. But so I won't say that it was like too easy for me, for sure, because there was like it definitely challenged me there. But
yeah. Anyway, I think they do a good job with putting goals and letting you kind of reach for them. Like the most recent bounty was for the Aloy skin, which Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, which is probably my favorite game from last year.
Is that how it's pronounced? Aloy?
Aloy. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think it was?
I don't know. Aloha, Alloy. There's a whole bunch.
Yeah, Alloy makes sense, I guess, with the theme. But yeah, so it's Aloy, and
is that like the name of a character or something?
Yeah, it's a main character.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Aloy is a play on Alloy, I would assume, because of the.
I would assume so too.
Yeah, but shit, go ahead.
Anyway,
I thought of one other thing.
She shows up. She shows up, or she doesn't show up. The quest shows up called The Proving, which is a reference to the game, and you go through and you fight the big Anjanath creature, which is or akin to the Thunderjaw from Horizon Zero Dawn. So you do that enough times, you get enough brave trophies, I think is what they call them, and once you do that, you can unlock a weapons or an armor set that is actually just turns your character into Aloy.
I saw your
really
screenshot
cool.
earlier. I thought it looked like Aloy, and I thought maybe I was just like you went and customized your character to hell to make it look like Aloy. I was like, wow, dedication.
Karen really dove deep.
Like, yeah, you were like tweaking the cheekbone.
Yeah,
it looked really good. Yeah, I was fun. I thought it was fun. There's a couple other weird like cosmetics. They got a Wiggler head in there now. It's you might have seen it if you kept up with it at all. But yeah, anyway, it's a really good time. I think they do a great job.
Don't they also have the Street Fighter? Riku or Raku? Ryu. There you
go. That was an update. That was a little while back. I think it was DLC.
Yeah.
But you actually had to have or maybe it wasn't DLC. Whatever it was,
I think it was like an early access thing for certain people.
You had to have a Street Fighter save. Street Fighter 5 save.
It's kind of neat, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that company, from what I've heard, is really good about like their DLC is usually free. Yeah, they just
their Street Fighter shit's been dope for the last ignoring the latest game, they've done really good with that stuff. So
yeah, I think that I'm really enjoying this, and I didn't expect to. So.
Well, it seems like it's a lot of people because this game's, I guess, doing very well for Capcom.
Yeah,
so go them.
I hope they make another one. I'm excited.
I'm sure they will. That was one of those companies I was looking at after Konami. It's like, all right, what are you guys up to now?
Next?
Yeah, because it's like you're not doing a lot lately.
Yeah.
Except, then they've had a banger of the last couple of years. Resident Evil, now this, a bit of return to form.
It's kind of interesting
because there was a while there. There was
like, what the fuck's going on? These weird Sonic games. Like,
and then they came with Street Fighter 5, and it's like you didn't care. And like, wow, I don't understand. Wait, did you say the Sonic stuff? Yeah, Sega's a whole other question mark.
Yeah.
Actually, though, I think they publish a lot of interesting stuff nowadays. So I guess
I feel like they're next. That's kind of where I was going. Like,
I feel like Sega, I can't recall anything offhand. I have a feeling if we looked at their publishing arm, there'd be a decent amount of good games there. But yeah, when it comes to just Sega, original IP stuff, Sonic exclusively, pretty much is what we're talking about. It's I don't know. They're serving some audience because they've been doing it for the last 20 years. These weird
hedgehog enthusiasts.
I remember like when Xbox 360 came out, they came out with a launch title, and then Sonic was like kissing a human girl, and that was weird. That was an interesting.
That was just for me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that
was like 2005 furry stuff. Like they're getting in when it was still not super known about that stuff. Yeah. Speaking of which, not super speaking of which, you know the internet historian who did something on furries?
Yeah.
Well, he also did something on the Fire Festival.
Yes.
The guy who did the Fire Festival just pleaded guilty to fraud. So there's that.
Super.
So put the bookend on that. Fire Festival, for those who don't know, was a festival on an island. Yeah, that did not go super well. An island with zero infrastructure that I guess they were going to build up from nothing by selling $500 tickets to a limited amount of people. Yeah. Turns out it didn't work out.
I love that story so much.
It's have you read like all the like stuff like there's a bunch of stories. There's like a story from like an event organizer who showed up like a month before the event date, and then she explained like just how fucked up things were at that time.
Yeah, it was just like, well, and like the stuff that people actually quoted them like, hey, you need like hundreds and thousands or millions of dollars to like make this work.
And they had like a drop in the bucket comparison.
You chose an island. Yeah. It doesn't have plumbing. Like, what are you doing?
And like that's just good stuff.
I'm surprised. Like, I guess hindsight's 2020, but like any event, no offense, Ja Rule, but any event that's like co-owned, co-sponsored by Ja Rule, where he's 50% of what's making that.
You gotta wonder. What's back in that?
I mean, he was really good on that Steven Seagal movie. I don't remember the name of, but other than that, come on, Ja Rule.
Ooh, in the prison.
Yeah, I remember really liking that when I first saw it. It probably doesn't hold up at all.
I rented that on pay-per-view.
It's definitely
one of my first pay-per-view movies.
It was probably Blockbuster for me or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. Is DMX in it? No, that's Cradle to the Grave with Jet Li. Never mind. We're in the weeds.
Whatever.
But yeah, that's a thing. Is it me? I guess my turn now.
Yeah.
Before we.
Yeah, I got one other thing that
go for it.
Well, I kind of talked to you guys a little bit about it. I just started writing my own D&D campaign / world, which I have been like super excited about. It's probably the biggest undertaking of like a creative like effort that I've ever tried to do, like building my own world and trying to think of like
how ready to be devastated when everybody else tries to fuck.
No, I want that to happen.
Or when you leave the room, it's like, this is shit.
Yeah, I think I would be more sad about that, like obviously, but like I think I'm onto something that would keep like I'm writing it kind of specifically as like you guys, like you two are like probably the first people in the door as far as the campaign would be concerned. Like if I was going to say, hey, who wants to participate in my own D&D campaign, I would think you guys would probably be the at least two people that check that box. Cameron's over here smirking. He's like, yeah, it's not me, dog. I gotta have a kid.
My biological clock is ticking, bro.
No, but I think that I might be on to something as far as something that really intrigues me. Like I'm trying to write to something that I would want to play, and I'm trying to look for ways that I would try to fuck it up. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at ways that like you could solve it multiple ways, and like how I might be able to grab some interest right off the back. I can tell you for me, like, and I don't know about you guys, but I lose interest trying to walk from place to place. I just want to be there. I want to be in the action, and
it's definitely a different way of writing.
Yeah,
you're writing scenarios more than like a plot.
Yeah, but there's going to be a big overarching.
Are you writing it sci-fi? Or are you writing it?
I'm kind of blending those two worlds. Okay. Like if we actually ever do this, if it doesn't peter out, like my creative effort just doesn't wane into non-existence, I would hope or let you guys kind of blend whatever character that you want together. Like you can create your own weapon, I don't care, and then I'll just assign some values to it, like, I think this would probably do like 1d8 or 1d10. Like nothing's going to be overpowered per se, but like as far as creative go, if you want to have like a robot goblin, sure, why the fuck not? I don't care. Like that's the world that I'm writing, that could exist. So
all right, sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, but otherwise,
writing that shit's always fun. Like just weird, like plot development stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, do you go? Do any of you guys Reddit at all for the most part?
Reddit?
Yeah, Reddit. I do on occasion.
I only when I like Google something in a Reddit like link pops up first.
Okay, so there's no like username or anything like that. There's if you sign up for a Reddit username, you're automatically signed up to a few, I forget what they call them, like Reddit pages.
Threads.
Yeah, there's a fucking name. Subreddit.
Yeah.
And one of them's called writing prompts, and like once a day you'll see one surface to the front page. And it'll just be like a really interesting like writing prompt. If you want, you can write something in it. I've only done it once, but that's always something like if I did want to get serious about writing, I'd probably look at, hey, what's today's big writing prompt? Write up something for it. Because the one time I did it was super fun.
Yeah, I could be into that. I today I googled like D&D campaign ideas. I had my opening. I pretty much have my opening like play session down. Like I finished it, and I think it's gonna be pretty good. But then I was still struggling with how do I get like an overarching campaign idea, and it popped to me today when I was in the shower, like all great ideas do. But before I did that, I was just Googling away, and a Reddit thing came up, and people were pitching their campaigns that they've done or their ideas for a campaign, and all of them were very similar, like Doctor, Nefarious in the Moonstone, or some bullshit like something that sounds like it's been done 1,000 times, and it sounds like it's a very
I think it's a tough thing to
plotted
avoid.
path, and I by no stretch of the by no stretch of the imagination is my idea original, but I could also pretty much guarantee that you guys haven't played it before, so.
Also,
to that point, it would be fun.
I think there's something to be said. Like, you can be like kind of trite and sort of those big things, but as long as like your plot development is good, I think that can be forgiven. Yeah. Even if like there is a magic crystal that you have to get, like you can make that interesting.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually change the face of like the MacGuffin. Like you don't have to change story mechanics. Just as long as you work hard on it and try to make something interesting out of it.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there'll be 1,000 ways if we actually try mine that it'll fail. Like there'll be a lot of shortcomings, a lot of like, hey, why didn't you foresee that happening? But I think that's part of the fun of learning to be a DM. This will definitely be my first time trying to, organize 4 to, 6 people or whatever we end up on.
Really? You'd go with that many people? Do you have anybody picked out that you'd like to do?
I mean, you two are in the door. I would say,
we made it
on the cusp.
Yeah. Jimmy would probably be another one that I would like to see in there. I think he's a very interesting, R.I.P. to Jimmy. But
he was very interesting.
Yeah, he was a very interesting. But I think probably my optimal number would be 4. Just because I think after 4. There's too long in between turns that you're kind of zoning out. Like, every turn is 6 seconds. But when you have, 5, 6 people trying to do their own
trying
thing,
to calculate their turn on what's going to be the best thing to do this turn.
Yeah, by the time, I get to go again, the thing that I wanted to do 5 turns ago is no longer relevant because you either dispatched that person or you did something stupid like set off a firework like in the opposite corner of the map, and like now everything's on fire, and I wasn't prepared for that 5 turns ago. There's so much that can change in that amount of time, where I think 3 or 4 people, in a kind of more intimate storytelling environment would be good.
One thing I think you can do, I don't really see a lot of people thinking in this way, is like you can put guardrails up for a D&D campaign as long as you don't have people really notice it. Like as long as we don't run into, like I think of it in terms of video games, because I think they're pretty similar in terms of writing plot or even just designing levels.
Yeah.
Where if you ran into an invisible wall, which hasn't happened since like PS2, like you notice it, it's irritating. But if you design your environment or your story or your plot around sort of limiting player choice, as long as you're giving the player some choice within that sort of enclosed environment, it's a pretty, it works out. So like one of the things I noticed is like BioShock. You're in this underwater sort of enclosed area. So never once did I feel like, oh, they're clearly putting me down this one path. No, just this is the setting that I can, operate, within, so you don't feel limited. It's just the setting that you're currently in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like whenever I've thought of D&D stuff, like I know I don't think I actually mentioned it on the podcast, but like my Starfinder idea was 2 bases. I was like, okay, they're surrounded by something very dangerous. So I was like, I have this enclosed space that I can have a lot of fun with. Whereas if it's just like the land of Terraria, like
Yeah.
it can get fucked up in all sorts of ways that I didn't quite intend.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of how we discovered that I like more like the sandbox kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about sort of like that, having a sandbox that you probably wouldn't push, to the invisible wall, because there wouldn't be a reason for you to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you still have that enclosed space, but there's everything you want to do is kind of manifesting itself in the space. I'm really actually quite excited about my idea, and hopefully I do get to share it with you guys. If it doesn't, like, if we don't end up getting to do it, I'll just share my notes with you guys, because I think there's something here, and it's almost like one of those things that I wish I could just say fuck it and like we could all co-write it together, because I think that would be fun. But then who do you play it with?
Yeah, you got a point there.
3 DMs.
Yeah.
I think if you get to that,
you have to take turns answering the.
Yeah.
I think there's something interesting to the idea of a revolving DM, like depending on what part of the map you're on. I think that could be an interesting dynamic. So if you do hit a wall, I think maybe sharing your big plot moments, maybe, and then we can design our parts of the world, and that would energize you to pick it back up if that scenario occurred. Yeah. I think that could work.
Yeah, I definitely also see, like, at some point or another, I would have to have you guys create your characters, so that I can start to populate the world with things that kind of mirror or match or maintain that same level of, like if I'm playing as a cyborg or dwarf or something, like, it would not make sense for them there just to be like a lot of just plain goblin enemies. Like, they also have to be raised to the level somehow for the story to make sense. Like, if we're in some sort of advanced, I don't have that same problem with sci or with fantasy that some people do. Like, it is overdone, to an extent, but I still like that atmosphere. I like the idea of hitting something with a hammer.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say overdone. It's just that I think
what happens there is an original.
There's a weird separation I feel that fantasy has that sci-fi doesn't necessarily have, where it turns like it resembles fairy tales. It's just you have a bigger tendency to fall into tropes more so than any other genre. I think like you have the crystal, you have the magic sword or whatever that you can kind of hang on. Whereas sci-fi, it changes year per year. Honestly, just based on where we're at now, we're at such a transitionary period in the actual world that sci-fi tends to change with it.
Yeah, like 15 years ago, smartwatch would have been a pretty dope thing to put on your character. And now, like, I got a smartwatch for my birthday. Like, cool. Like
also, like, did you see that Boston Dynamics video? I think that's the name of the company. I forgot. Or Boston Robotics.
It's Boston Dynamics.
I think it's Dynamics too, where they now open doors. Like, that just happened like a couple weeks ago.
The dog robot.
Yeah, now we can make our own robot Jurassic Park movie and be terrified at that. Yeah. That's the fucking first thing I thought of was the raptor opening the door.
It looks exactly like one of the things from Black Mirror. Like, they might as well have just watched Black Mirror and made this stupid thing.
I gotta watch more of that show.
Yeah,
I've seen 2 episodes. I liked both of them. So
yeah. I think Black Mirror, there's some pretty interesting ideas there. Again, not reviewing it as a groundbreaking, note, but I don't think the acting is great. But I think that the concepts make up for it.
I really liked growing up with Twilight Zone, so everything says I should probably like this. There's just it hit that level of popularity. It was like, I can't like it anymore.
Yeah,
there is that little
hipster
bit,
Kyle.
a little bit.
That's
of a
when
hipster.
you were in Oregon.
Well, it still exists now, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
Oregon.
What have you been up to?
Honestly, not a lot of note. Honestly, I've dropped off on Fortnite pretty heavily. There was like a week there when none of you guys were playing, where I was playing pretty heavily.
You bought in, right? For the
so I did all of the week 1 challenges. Week 2, I don't think I'm going to complete a single one.
Where are you on the unlocks? Like, have you gotten to
22?
Rust person yet?
I think I'm like
The one
2
that's supposed to be
levels.
Star-Lord, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm like 2 levels before that.
Okay, I just got Star-Lord, so I'm not too far ahead of you.
I haven't played a match in like 3 or 4 weeks since
I
Monster Hunter came out.
I still love it.
I refuse to spend any of my time not playing that game.
It's fun. It's definitely less so without buddies though. Yeah. Which I feel like PUBG is the same way. Like I think a lot of those games are the same way. When you have your boys and you're trying to like watch each other six.
Yeah, something's been going on these last few weeks. Like no one can get together. I don't know what it is.
I think we've been having a rough couple of weeks as far as that. Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's just a lot of weird things. Like just like, hey, anyone want to do this? Like silence. I've noticed it too. I was like, I should say something. I guess I'm not sure. Yeah, or just not feeling. Yeah, just in a weird funk, I guess. But other than Fortnite, I watched Silicon Valley again because the new season's about to come out.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Let me know when that comes out because I'm like not monitoring that at all.
I think it's next month. I have to double check because I also think Westworld starts again next month.
No.
Yeah.
That's big time.
Oh my!
I know what we're doing.
I hope I'm right about it.
Do you watch Westworld?
Oh yeah, I love.
All right, sorry, I meant to say I know you did that. Do you watch Silicon Valley?
No.
I love that show too.
Let's say give it a watch. I know when I first watched it, I was pretty harsh on the first season. Watching it again, I liked it a lot more than I remember. I didn't get into Silicon Valley until the last episode of season 1 for obvious reasons.
The first episode of Silicon Valley makes you kind of want to turn it off. Like,
I think I watched one episode of Silicon Valley, and I'm pretty sure I turned it off.
Yeah, I think if
I don't remember
if you give the characters enough time, like you kind of understand their humor that they're going for there.
I either saw one episode of that, or my mom watched an episode of Betas.
Betas is fucking garbage. I watched the whole first season of that.
Okay, so it might have been Beta. It could have been one or the other.
It's not. That's mean. It's not as good though.
I think
I watched one episode and thought it was garbage.
I could see you liking Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley gets good.
Can you? I don't like TV shows.
But, I mean, you say that, but also you have TV shows that like.
I do, yeah, but they're like there's thousands and thousands of TV shows.
I think you would like Silicon Valley.
Of them.
But I mean,
I don't
you're
think
talking about
HBO
content. If you don't like comedies, TV show comedies, I mean, maybe
I
we're talking.
I don't think there's one out there that I like.
Well, this one, I would say Silicon Valley's smart. I don't know what other comedies you've watched.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't even know what kind of like sitcoms are the only other like.
I did grow up on
comedies
like Seinfeld
like
and
you
stuff.
didn't like probably How I Met Your Mother or The Office or
I love The Office. I guess.
Yeah, there
I
we
like
go.
The Office. Yeah. I'm not an Office person. But
Yeah,
I like The Office a lot.
okay.
But no, How I Met
What
Your
do you
Mother.
mean about Office person? I'm
You
curious.
fucking know.
I think I know what you're. Okay, all right.
know
Like
what
the
a
people that
fucking
rewatch
Office
it every
person
single
is.
time.
I think there's a certain person.
There may be one person
that will not be named.
I was thinking about when I said
Okay,
it.
cool. I was just making sure we're on the same page. Okay, I understand. But yeah, I think maybe season 1's. I don't know. Watching season 1 again, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So maybe if you can stick with season 1, maybe you'll enjoy it. But the last episode, if you want, start at the finale of season 1 and then go from there. I think that's also fair.
I think I started on season 2 because that's what Emily's brother was watching in the living room at the time, and I just started watching it there, and it got good enough that I started recommending it I started making Emily watch it, and
Especially where you guys are living at the time.
yeah,
This is why.
yeah, this is why it's all fucked up out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I watched season 1, and I think I liked the comedy enough of season 2 to know where it was going. That I was like, okay, I'll forgive the first couple episodes, which are always kind of awkward for any show.
Yeah.
Before they find their rhythm, like just
Yeah, they were definitely finding their rhythm. Like some of the characters definitely act different in the beginning than what they end up acting like.
Yeah. I mean, but like as far as we're talking like Guilfoyle, I love his character.
He's been a banger. Yeah. Great show. I would say give it a look-see. Again, if you don't like the first episode, just go to the finale of season 1 and go from there. And I think you're going to be pretty solid from then on out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, honestly, not a lot. Also, March 25th, by the way, for Silicon Valley season 5 is when it starts. But I've been picking up C++ again, which I haven't for a very long time. There's for those out there, if you're interested, there's a list of books by Jay Baxter, which I've been looking at for a few years now. I just haven't picked it up for one reason or another. And I bought the first book, so I've been going through that one. And I'm just going to go through that right now. At least in my off time, because it's spring break right now, so I don't have too much to do.
Spring break.
Yeah, spring break.
Could lose.
LeBron James.
I wish I had a fucking spring break. Christ.
I am.
I guess I did feel a little bit old because I found out that this week was spring break for a lot of people. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I haven't had those for a long time.
Spring break was always just like a bullshit, break to me. Like it was nice that it was around my birthday, but I never was the party or going up to what's the fucking beach, Panama City. Yeah, Panama City. I'm not going up there. I'm not going down to Miami. So really, it was just a nice little week to be off school.
I always used to play a fuckload of video games, but
yeah, I'm not even doing that. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my video game playing. It's just non-existent, and each month backlog.
I've been there before. I know the hole you're in, but I think you've been in that hole for a lot longer than I ever have.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in that hole. I told Scott,
I was like, I don't think Kyle plays many video games.
I know a lot about them, and I keep up on them for some reason. But like this month, like I signed up for another year of Humble Bundle, so it's just a continuous. Like I just recently got like 10 new games. It's like, am I gonna fucking play that? Probably not. I still play Hearthstone every once in a while. Even that's dropped off this month though. I played way too much last month, so yeah, I think the video game thing's gonna continue as long as if I keep doing all this other shit on the side. Then I don't know. I just don't know where the time's gonna be because like programming takes a long time. It takes a very long time to do stuff now. It's not like it used to be. Where it's like make string. Hey, that's my name. Let's print out my name. That's cool. Like it's shit that like takes a long time. Like okay, that's gonna take 4 hours. Let's put that there and let's work on that for a little bit and see how that works out. Because I'm also doing this database thing with a bunch of kids, which it's not hard at all, to be honest. But I'm trying to do a little bit extra because they're just starting stuff off, and I'm getting pretty bored with it. So I'm trying to do some stuff on top of it to hopefully like cinch an A. But it's shit that takes a long time. So we'll see. I would like to play. I don't know what game to play next. I guess I have Final Fantasy 15 sitting on my TV stand, but that's a commitment.
Yeah, that sounds like the worst option. Now, I don't know a damn thing about the game, but still, I'd choose.
There's a sickness in me, though.
Some other stuff.
There's a Final Fantasy sickness inside.
It has to be a sickness. I've never wanted to play one of those fucking games. Whatever. I would play Horizon.
I wouldn't mind it. I don't have it, but I wouldn't mind playing it.
Mine.
I have a copy somewhere.
Yeah, I know where mine is, so maybe I have the one up there. Yeah, it's one of the games that I still want to play too. I just
how would you compare that to a Monster Hunter?
Way better.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, like I mean, the graphics are way better in my opinion. On Horizon.
I think
the character
University Press is like one of the best looking games of last year.
Yeah, the character is obviously. Well, I don't know if I can say obviously because I haven't continued to play the cutscenes in Monster Hunter.
You really don't have a character in Monster Hunter. It's like
that.
That story doesn't.
And I mean, I thrive off a good story.
Yeah, I think that's more. It's just more narrative focused, which is up your alley.
Yeah.
But you still haven't played Last of Us, have you?
I haven't. So.
Fuck, dude, that is the game you gotta play.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
yeah, that's the way we should go with it. Yeah. You should definitely play it, but but definitely play it.
I think I'm pretty early game still, but I
just restart it. I played that game 3 times, I think. Yeah, it was worth it every time.
Yeah, I would play it right now.
Yeah, I would.
You want to watch me play it?
I want
to wrap this shit up.
I would like to co-op like more games. Like if you guys had a time where you're like I don't know how frustrating that would be for you. Maybe it would only work with the games that you've already played. But like I love handing off the controller. Like, oh, I play this for 15 minutes. I get a little stressed out. Like you take the next 15 minutes or whatever.
Problem is I wouldn't give the controller back. That's my issue.
Yeah, Last of Us. I don't know if that's the game to do.
I ride in the driver's seat.
You're talking about like one of the few games that like has a well-written plot, character development. Like it truly like.
Yeah, exactly. Really well written. Like most games, they
do okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is
not great.
This is like a movie.
Gears of War 3. I don't know why that was.
Gears of War 2 was incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
my wife.
Where's my wife?
Like the opening part of The Last of Us is probably one of the best video game experiences that I've had. Like just like being able to look around the car, creeping through that the house at night and not knowing.
Yeah, it's like a little girl. Yeah,
but there's like there's relevant things on the news. There's everything that you can like read in the house, which I took the time to read because I was very interested. And
appreciate you including that bit of information.
Yeah.
I assumed you glossed over them.
Yeah. Here's a note, fucking. I'll probably read it.
I'm sure the developer didn't craft this for a reason.
Yeah. I'm super looking forward to the next one. I hope that's late this year. Probably not, but
I feel like it should. I don't think there shouldn't be a second one. Just because The Last of Us was kind of then a misnomer. I feel like maybe it's like
for a while I said the same thing,
of Us.
But they're doing it, so I'm like, all right, we've crossed that channel. Let's go do it. Yeah. I mean, other than that, not a lot, to be honest. It's just been mostly just that, focusing on stuff. Also, I think one thing that has led to me not playing video games as often as I used to is just a YouTube addiction that gets stronger and stronger by the day.
I see. I have more of a resistance to it. Maybe it's like I'm like a hobbit, like to the One Ring or something. And whenever I start to feel like that coming on, I just kind of turn it off.
I've cultivated.
I won't go down the hole.
I've cultivated enough
live stuff on YouTube.
Live stuff.
Yeah.
I don't usually like.
Well, and unfortunately, like I've been watching people play Fortnite live. Which
I
think is super interesting to watch people that are way better than I'll ever be. Part of me thinks I should just be playing this right now, but I'm like, I definitely couldn't do that, and I wouldn't be able to see that. So I'll just keep watching this.
I used to. I guess maybe I could say that. Maybe I used to do that.
Yeah.
And I would think, why didn't I play this game? Why didn't I continue?
Yeah.
That's because why did I watch videos on it? And then one day I just translated that into action. Yeah. And so when I have that thought, I just turn that shit off and like boot up whatever game it is, or go outside, or whatever that might be. Actually watch a movie that I've been wanting to watch for 8 months that I've just look at on my Netflix queue and scroll by it in order to watch a 5-minute video on YouTube instead.
Well, me, it's not even that stuff. It's not like like voyeuristic type stuff. It's just like I've cultivated enough good channels of shit I'm genuinely interested in that the content release schedule is like frequent enough that if I wanted to just not do anything productive and just do that and feel productive, because it's a lot like recently, like my recent last 3 followers were just like these 3 software engineers that just started a channel like 2 or 3 months ago, and they're super interesting. They're really good on camera. I was like, fuck it, all right, and they can actually speak words and they're fluent. And I was like, which is a rare thing too, because you'll like tune in. It's like, okay, this guy's from Indonesia. He speaks a little bit of English, but that's like another thing. They have these hour-long like lecture shit. So I'll just turn that on. I'm like, cool, let's watch that. And I can't do anything else at that point because it's either I'm going to pay attention to what these guys are saying, or none of that's going to register with me. So it's just, I don't know, YouTube's like a television service at this point.
Yeah, I'm not quite there with you as far as how you're using it, but like I watch stuff that I just don't need to watch sometimes. Like
I do that too.
Like Killer, I don't know if you've watched any Killer 6 like Borderlands videos, but Killer 6, I'll give him a little plug. Like I think he made the best like tutorial videos as far as like farming bosses, like that, like what loot they drop and stuff. I think he did like the best out of like how to get this gun, like out of all the videos that I saw, because I picked up the game way later than y'all did. But so he'll post the occasional video, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch him make the same jokes again. Like, sure, why not? Because he's like maxing 0 for God knows how many times he's done that. I haven't watched them all, but so this is like the first time for me. But I'm sure he's played this game hundreds of times by now. But the other thing that I do, I watch like a lot of just opinion videos on like world building today for D&D. Just watched like probably almost 2 hours worth of world building like opinions, like this is how you should do it, no, this is how you should do it, like if you do this you're gonna have a boring ass world. And so I find that stuff really interesting, just to kind of start formulating my own opinions on it.
It's a uniquely like this generation problem, just the amount of content. Like if you wanted to not accomplish anything, like period, not accomplish anything in life, and have a pretty entertained life. Like, you could do it. Like, the Wall-E future is now.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Well, it's funny because I make that joke about wanting one of those chairs real bad.
Yeah.
Like if you gave me one of those things at Disney, I'd be A-okay.
I mean, they're kind of out there. Those, like, whatever, those $400 gaming chairs. Like, that's pretty close. Like, the weird back and stuff that looks like you're in a race car.
Yeah. Yeah. I should probably invest in one of those.
Every time I see the price point, I'm like, nah, I'll just get the Amazon Basics $80 chair. That's enough for me.
What was that really good quote I just read?
I can't help you.
It was I know exactly what it was. I just don't remember who it was referring to, but someone high up in the U.S. government said that like $5,000 couldn't buy a nice chair because he spent like $10,000 on his chair for his office.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
fuck that guy so much.
His desk in his office was like I think a $30,000 or $50,000 desk, and it's like, and it might have been the brain surgeon guy. What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about glasses, Egyptian. They hit all the grain. Dude, president. Ran for president.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forget his name.
Yeah.
Autistic surgeon guy.
Yeah, like it might have
something
been him.
Up. Herman. No shit, that's Pizza Hut. Fuck me, I don't remember.
It might have been that guy. It might have been someone similar. It was. It was on a Stephen Colbert bit. Like
probably then. That's pretty much all he talks about.
They were reviewing that sort of stuff. But it was just real funny. He's like, yeah, like why do you spend so much money on a chair? And he's like, well, you can't get a good chair for less than $5,000. And I was like, what world do you live in? Like the rest, like there's half of America's like fucking living under poverty or some shit like that, and you're spending $5,000 on a chair. Like, and there is like some ridiculous number too, which made me mad. It's like, it was something like any purchase over $10,000 has to get approved. Why is that number so fucking high? Like, it should be like over. Like we're talking earlier, I had to get purchases approved over $100. You have to for $1,000. This person has like $5,000 for a chair, no questions asked, because it didn't hit the blip mark.
It's a good chair, you know.
Yeah,
you pay for quality.
I guess I don't know what that chair does to you. It must do magical things.
Yeah, I mean, you could go to a mall, put a quarter in a chair, have a pretty good chair experience. So I don't know what this guy's doing.
You can buy one of those chairs for probably under $5.
No, I think those chairs are like
sure.
$2,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this chair is.
I could get one for $500. I bet.
Maybe.
I got a chair guy.
You got a chair guy?
Yeah.
You should get the chair guy to the Pentagon or wherever the fuck this guy works, because $5,000. Anyway, that's my government rant for the day.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We all paid for it, so
yeah.
You're welcome.
Every one of us should get a chance to sit in that chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, every one of us should get a second in that chair just to know what it feels like to sit in that expensive old chair.
That's one question I never, like, I don't understand why it's not discussed more. Like, raise taxes, lower taxes. Like, hey, can we just see, like, if they're spending it okay first before we have this conversation?
Yeah, like, let's audit, like,
just make
what the
sure,
spending is.
Yeah. Audit the Fed.
Oh, I think you guys spent, like, what was it not that long ago? Maybe it was a joke from a movie. I don't remember, but it was, like, something like $1,000 per toilet seat or something stupid like that. But, I mean, like, all of those guys, they, like they contract out to companies that they have, invested in. So like every
Halliburton toilets.
Yeah.
Did at least come with like, was it a bidet or whatever?
I don't think so. I think it was just like a toilet seat,
just a normal ass American toilet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying one of those Japanese toilets just to know where I stand.
Yeah, where you sit.
Yeah, the concept upsets me, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
Just spray water at my asshole.
Blow dry it afterwards?
Water. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I would assume so, or maybe not.
I wonder if you can select the temperature of the water. Like if you can.
I don't think so.
Some people are like a 73-degree person.
You can buy a bidet on Amazon and like just hook it to your toilet.
Yeah, but again, kind of you can't buy a good debate for. But
well, you can get like an add-on. I think like the retrofits
like straps onto the side.
You just like push it in when you want to use it.
Are they motion activated? I wonder. Or are they button activated?
They're sphincter activated, so anytime it sees the sphincter slightly release.
That's one thing. Like when it sprays up, does it instantly go down to escape the backwash? Like the because the water's not gonna just go and stick to my ass for me to wipe away. Like it's gonna splash back.
Well, I mean, where does that water run with your poopy, underside?
That's also the thing. Is it a finishing move, or is it like an instant, like, hey, let me help you out, pal. Let me break up some of this.
Is it like the squirt, and then it has like the suction, like the dentist, like, all right, now squeeze down. All right, good.
There's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
And then in India, they just kind of crouch, which that's upsetting too. I don't understand how that works at all. Have you ever seen like I don't know if it's India specifically. I'm sure they also do it, but like, have you seen their toilets?
The hole in the ground.
Yeah, it's like just two like. They look like the shoe things that you step on to like measure what shoe size you are at like a shoe store. Yeah. You just kind of squat, and there's not even like a wall up front.
I mean, that's the optimal position to release your.
That's what they say. That looks uncomfortable as shit.
I gotta get one of those squatty potties.
Well, they came up with this idea because people were spending too much time scrolling their phones in the toilet, so they had to get rid of them.
Isn't there?
It was inconvenient to do it.
An ocean by India that has so much fecal matter in it.
It's the Ganges.
Is that in that area?
It's
so
the river.
I'm thinking maybe squatting isn't the best way because they're all just shitting in the river on the DL. That's like, I'm just gonna go swimming. Like, okay, sure. You're just gonna shitty.
He'll swim every day.
Get hit by a log.
That'd be a great Metamucil commercial for over there in India. Just a guy wading into the river every day at the same time.
Guy eats wings. He goes in there every hour on the
baptized. Dunking your hair in the shitty water.
Speaking of which,
it's a holy river too, I believe. There's a
There's something about this. Yeah,
they like burn bodies like on the other side of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, a bunch of people shit in it. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
And then drinking water from somewhere else.
I think like the government puts out like a pretty big like health initiative to educate people.
You can super die, I think, from it.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah. I'm not gonna try it out, but yeah, I'd believe it. Speaking of which, have you seen like people? Is it in the Nile or? There's apparently people who just go on expeditions where they travel all the way. I don't know if it's the Nile. It's probably not because it's a big one.
I don't think it is, but
you know what I'm talking about?
Could be in denial.
Probably. But there's like expeditions where guys like canoe across like all the way down a river that's like hippo infested. They take like videos of it and stuff.
What?
It's I think it was probably a YouTube hole I fell into like a week ago, but there's like a pretty popular risk-taking thing where someone will start at one end of the river and they'll go all the way to the other side. And there's just hippos pretty much all along this fucker.
Yeah.
So you see them like ditch.
That's the next thing I'm doing.
Run up a tree.
If this is the content that you're watching, I understand.
Yeah, there's occasionally it's that where it's like, yeah, it's all fine, it's worth it. And you'll even see because there's also a side genre where it's tourist boats that are on there, and then you'll see they're being chased by a hippo. Which holy fuck, those things swim way too fast. I don't understand. Like you'll see this airboat that's just like revving it, and the hippo's keeping up pretty goddamn good. Like that dude is pissed about something. Hippos are fucking terrifying because I haven't seen anyone get eaten by a hippo, but just how fast they are and how angry they seem to be.
Paul video.
Yeah, for real. I can't believe we got eaten by a hippo. Hurry! At the thumbnail him next to the guy getting eaten by a hippo.
They're pretty good.
Shit, I think we're pretty close to time, if not already.
Yeah, we're at.
We got a few minutes here. Do we want to do a quick hat thing?
One hat?
If we can do it fast, yeah. We got maybe 5 minutes, and that's if the camera was truthful.
We're not being
yes and not
judgmental.
Probably not. It's like, yeah, till like, we got you for the next 90 minutes.
On the hat, the hat has given us this most entertaining ASMR idea.
There's been a lot of ASMR. I don't know, someone butt chugging. There you go. Just an hour of butt chugging. That's what I got.
I'll do. Yeah, I'm not even gonna spend a lot of time on this. I'm gonna do an hour of someone clipping their toenails.
Fuck, that's probably a thing. God, that's upsetting to me. I don't like that one either.
I was on that grind today on the YouTube channel. No, I'm sure I just got someone a little bit excited when I said that.
Yeah. There's two genres of ASMR I know I don't like. That and the mouth sounds. I can't get with.
Yeah, so it was most entertaining?
Yeah, most entertaining. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think
I just yelled butt chugging. So, because I figured there's going to be some interesting noises.
I would like to do people having a satisfying meal.
That's a thing.
Is it?
Fuck, what's it called? It's a genre of YouTube. It's like Bunkai or Yungkai. Someone...
Fuck?
There's a name of it. It's because it got super popular, I think, in South Korea.
Like people saying yum?
It's more of they're on a webcam and they have a huge fucking meal and they just eat the meal, and
like you hear like the fork scraping the plate sort of thing.
It's not even really about that. It's more that I think this is going to be kind of a sad part. Let's see if I can get this out quick. It's more like eating a meal with someone. So you'll tune into this webcam where someone's eating just a fuck ton of food. For some reason, that's part of it. They have to eat that's a lot of food, and they're just kind of talking about their day and stuff like that.
Oh, how are you?
Yeah, there's a fuck mukbang. I think that's the name, mukbang.
All right, I need to change.
It kind of is. It kind of is.
Do we want to do a second half?
It's also kind of endearing.
I want to do dice. I want to do dice rolling on a table instead.
There you go. That's entertaining.
Okay.
I think butt chugging wins personally, but I would definitely get viewers. Butt chugging ASMR, 24 hours straight.
There's your tag for this week.
That's the title.
Fetish and butt chug, and you got yourself a nice little following.
Butt chug ASMR. BDSM. I'll just put that in the tags.
I wouldn't even bother. Butt chug ASMR 24/7. Works.
We could do one more if you want.
Fuck it. Why not?
Quick one.
We're here.
Because either the camera's off or it's on. We'll find out.
Let's see here. Best present you've ever gotten.
Okay, that's easy. StarCraft when I was 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. My dad had the game for a while, and whenever I go to his house, he'd let me play it. Hey, buddy.
Where'd you get that?
And one year, something happened, and I remember him saying, like, hey, don't expect too much on Christmas. And that was, like, one of the few things I got, and I remember being super stoked about it, because I could play StarCraft with my dad.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Yeah. Off the dome. Best Christmas present or best present ever?
Best Christmas present. All right. Well, we can change it to best present ever. I think it might actually just been that.
I don't know.
Yeah, best present you've ever gotten.
Ever gotten? It probably would have been better to do a given, or easier to do a given. No.
Feels pretty selfish of me. Yeah. I've never gotten anything good, but let me tell you about the time I gave a really good present.
That's the part about holidays that I love, finding something that somebody else is really going to enjoy.
Yeah. Do you? All right. I'll give you a side question here. Do you give presents based on what you think someone else will enjoy, or do you give presents based on what you want them to kind of enjoy on your behalf?
Depends. Right. We good. Yeah, super dead.
Probably, yeah. Should we end it now? I could put an image over it as we're still talking. Just like, hey, video's out. So we can complete this question. Yeah. Might as well. I'll see what it actually recorded.
Yeah.
So, what was the question?
Do I give... Yeah, do you give presents based on, like, what you enjoy and therefore you want to share your, like, enjoyment with people?
It might be 50-50. Well, it's probably like 75-25. Like, most of the time I'm going to try and find something that they really like.
Okay.
And then there are times that I would also, hey, you may be interested in this. Now, the problem with that is it never works out. So it's like when I bought Skylar a 2DS, like she had talked about wanting to play games.
Yeah.
And so I bought her 2DS, and then later she just claimed that I bought myself a 2DS and then gave it to her.
Yeah, I think
I only played 2 or 3 games on the thing myself, so
there is a fine line there, and that I agree with you there. For me, because you kind of hang out with people that have similar tastes anyway, so I mean, there's a difference between like, you know, if you bought Skylar a purse, like, you might think that she'll like that purse or something, and I'm sorry that I chose, you know, a girly thing here, but like, that's something that you wouldn't have yourself, but you're buying it for her. But like, a lot of times I give gifts that is something that I've really enjoyed, that I want to share with someone, and like one of my least favorite things is when people get gifts and they're just totally like, thanks for this, like why would you get, like, they don't understand that maybe your heart is a little bit in it, and like I think for me the best gifts are when people like took the time to notice something about me, but also are trying to share a little bit about them. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Have you guys answered the question?
The best gift I've ever gotten, I think the most excited I was ever for a gift, I would say, was probably Nintendo 64.
That's a good one.
My mom and my grandma went together in on that and got that for me, and I remember being so excited for it, and I didn't expect it at all. And I got hours and hours and hours of entertainment playing with my friends on that console. So it's probably the height of video game playing for me.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, probably would be the 360 was the first time that I'd had a PS2 and a PS1 and all those games, but I didn't dive deep at those points. I was just playing sports games a lot of the time, some of the major titles that came out. But yeah, the 360, when I got that, and I just stayed up and played it for almost a full 24 hours straight. Like that first time I loaded into Oblivion, like I just disappeared. I just disappeared into the console. The only kind of asterisk around that is that I was going to get it for Christmas, and then my mom just gave it to me the day she bought it anyway because she knew I wanted it. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I didn't have to wait or anything. I really enjoyed the speakers that I got because I like to listen to my music real loud. And now that I'm in an apartment, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But those things thump, and I would just crank those puppies and listen to all my naughty rap music.
Yeah.
That was a couple years ago. They were unexpected. She knew that I like to listen to music loud, and she went out and found these really nice speakers that she found. Those are pretty cool. Skylar surprised me with a Vive this year, which I wish I was able to play more. Just getting everything set up has been, and in a limited amount of time, has been a lot more difficult than I was anticipating.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was thinking about that gift for a while too.
Yeah,
me and her talked about it months and months ago.
Well, and you think about it, like I wanted it, also for a new graphics card. I was really interested in it for that reason as well.
She got in like just before it really took off.
I guess she did. And so, like, I haven't played any PC games either. Like, the one game I played was Firewatch with Alex. Like, that was it.
You're just cranking that beast.
Yeah, it's like, woo, turn this
pushing the limits.
Turn this thing up, baby. So, that was it was a great gift. I really appreciated it, but it was like, I haven't been able to fully utilize it yet. But I think it was really, really great of her to go out on a limb and get that for me.
Yeah,
but that was probably the most expensive gift I've ever gotten. The setup for a Vive.
It's decent. That's up there for sure.
It's like a couple $100.
I think I don't know what my most expensive one is. Probably not that high, honestly, just because my go-to is always asking for books around Christmas. But I remember one time, actually the 360 that now that you mentioned it, was going to be a gift, but the deal breaker was going to be, hey, it would not just be yours, it would also be your stepbrother's. And I was like, fuck that, don't give me a 360. I'm going to buy my own 360 with my no job. I'm going to save up. I do not want this shared 360 experience. It is my console. If I remember, because I knew I was saving up for it. I was like, hey, what if we just got it for you and it'll be the family's 360? I was like, you lost me right there. No.
Let me tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah. I will not be sharing. I mean, I'll let them use it, but it is mine.
You know what happens there when they start, like, no, we want to play a DVD on this, Kyle.
Especially those guys, like, the two assholes who fight each other, literally fist fight each other after a Halo 2 match. Yeah, I want to share it with them. That's going to work great. Thanks.
I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for that. Most of these, I feel like I should get to take home and like a writing prompt and come back with a solid answer. Like,
yeah, these ones are
so I can be really thoughtful about it.
Yeah, we'll have to fill it out with a lot more of those.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these are from that first night when we were all just sitting around. Yeah. Well, it's not bad. It's just, more thought provoking. Like, yeah, well, what was that one time that you got real happy when you gave somebody something? Like for me, giving a gift, like there was the time it had been months before Christmas, and somewhere along the line, Mom mentioned that her favorite book when she was a kid was Cinderella, the little golden book or whatever.
Yeah.
And I tracked down a book that was from that same year that that she would have been reading it. Like, so it was exact same art, exact same everything, and found it on some website. And I gave that to her, and I know she really enjoyed that. Getting to see that, getting to go back to there. So that was the one that kind of crept up to the forefront of my mind when it comes to like thoughtful gift giving or whatever.
Yeah. When someone gives me something that I like that I didn't even know I wanted, that I don't almost ever ask for anything. Like this microphone was like one of the first things I've asked for in a while. Because I have, most of what I want anyway.
Yes, that's a very adult problem for sure.
Yeah. You just have to dive down into the tech hole, and then it solves itself. You just want all of the newest shit, and then it kind of alleviates. The gift getting problem kind of alleviates itself.
Yeah. Is that it this week?
Yeah, we can end it there, especially since the video is cut out.
Yeah.
So
if you're watching this, we're definitely butt chugging.
Yeah, we're definitely butt chugging. Silently though, the mics aren't hooked up. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for listening. This has been Game Bangerz Podcast, episode 8, I believe. So we're getting there, almost to 2 digits.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. I'm pretty sure.
Unless drink a Red Bull.
I got a wedding to go to next weekend, so I got to edit the next week's real fast. But yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.